You already know this is Pawn Drunk Boxing, a.k.a. Mr. Moo Shine himself, a.k.a. El Adobo, a.k.a. El Sazon. Ladies and gentlemen, this report says that in May 15th, we probably going to be watching Devin Haney versus Jorge Linares. Jorge Linares, Devin Haney, Linares. Good fight. Yeah, it's a good fight. It's a good step-up fight for Devin Haney. It is. It is a good step-up fight. Now, I would have liked to see Vasyl Lomachenko versus Devin Haney because I felt like that fight would have rewrite the wrong of the damn WBC and the shenanigans and what the controversial shit that they created in the lightweight division. So I would have loved to see that fight. I would have loved to see that fight. I mean, Devin Haney been calling out for that fight for quite some time, right? He was in position for that fight, right? Also, Bill Haney, Devin Haney's pops, have pressed Eddie Hearn to make that fight. Now, one thing that I really dislike, and I'm just speaking in general, I'm not just talking about boxing, but when somebody tries to insult your intelligence, and this is what's happening in the sport of boxing, people love to insult the intelligence of the fans. Because, of course, boxing is like a secret society. We really don't know what goes behind the scenes. We really don't go. See, a lot of people talk about the belts. Oh, man, you know what I'm saying? The corruption and what's going on with the belts and the shenanigans with the belts. But it's also the shenanigans in the ranking system. Franchise, we hate it. But let's not forget the ranking system in the WBC is also tampered with. And maybe there's other people in position in position for a fight that we know that they shouldn't be in a position for that fight because they got into that position unjust. Am I gonna name some names? I could do that in another video, but it probably a couple of names that I'm mentioning right now. Yeah. The Devin Haneys of the world, the Teofimo Lopez of the world, the Linares of the Luke Campbells of the world, practically all the names that's highly invested, put it that way. So let's just keep that in mind. And when we're arguing about the belts, let's look at the ranking system. I'm not just talking about the WBC. I'm talking about all the belt federations. I mean, we did see Carlos Ocampo versus Earl Spence, right? Was he in position for that fight? Yes. Was he ready for that fight? No. We all know he was not ready for that fight, but powers that be puts him in that position, correct? Was Devin Haney really ready for the Lomachenko fight when he was in that position? You know boxing. Should I explain myself? Come on, I'm talking to hardcore boxing fans here. Now, I'm going to say it like this. Devin Haney has got the WBC strap, right? And this is a good step for Jorge Linares. Have you noticed, or maybe it's just me, that the camp may be talking like a champion, but they're moving him like a prospect contender? Am I lying? I mean, look at the resume. That's not a resume that's actually moved like a champion. He's moving the perfect way. If you really look at the opponents and the matchmaking for Devin Haney, it's the perfect way you build the fighter. I mean, what fogs everything up is that he got a strap. What fogs everything up, or he's pressured, is because we see the likes of a Teofimo Lopez who accomplished so much in less fights. And I've been saying that this guy is the captain of this generation, the commander-in-chief, because the way he was moving and what he had accomplished within this new era of fighters. So now everybody now Teofimo Lopez set the tone, and now everybody got to work and just like him. They want people rushing for others to accomplish the same thing that Teofimo Lopez have accomplished. Fair or not, So now we may looking at Devin Haney, and we would not acknowledge that he needs to grow. He needs to take those step by step. But because of Teofimo Lopez, now he needs to be rushed. Now you need to do what Teofimo Lopez did. But in reality, the way they moving Devin Haney is the same they moving Virgil Ortiz, the same they moving Boots Ennis, the same they moving Brandon Lee, the same they moving Joey Spencer, the same they moving. They're moving it step by step. Step by step. So this is what I mean about insulting our intelligence. Is that no, you're not ready. Maybe you don't want to fight with Vasyl Lomachenko. And why people gonna be like, yo, but why you saying that, Punch Wrong? I mean, it sounds like you're being hard on the guy or on the camp. No, the difference between Devin Haney, Tio, Ryan, Gervonta Tank Davis, and all these guys is that Devin Haney is a boss. So, he has the power to make these fights. Am I right or am I wrong? And if he doesn't have the power to make these fights, then what is the use of saying I got a promotional company, DHP, just like a lot of PBC fighters, A lot of PBC fighters, they got their own promotional, right? But then when you talk to them, they be like, well, Al Heyman, you got to talk to Al Heyman. You got to talk to Al Heyman. You got to talk, but I thought you was a boss. You got to talk to Al Heyman, but I thought you was a boss. You got your own promotional company. You're your own boss. What happened? You got to talk to Al Heyman. So Al Heyman's the boss. Without Al Heyman, your promotional company wouldn't even move. So, it's either your promotional company, you a boss and you're partnering up with Matchroom to make these fights. You call the shots because bosses call the shots. Am I right or am I wrong? And I'm speaking inglés or speaking something. Explícame, my gente, mi friends. A boss is a boss. A boss don't take no orders from nobody, right? A boss makes shit happen. A boss is the leader. The boss is the commander-in-chief. A boss is the CEO. The boss is the presidente. The boss is the boss. Correct? That's the difference between Devin Haney and Teofimo Lopez. Teofimo Lopez will have to wait for the top ranks of the world or go to purse bid. Ryan Garcia will have to wait for Golden Boy promotion because he's under Golden Boy promotion. Gervonta Tank Davis will have to wait for Floyd Mayweather. And this is why when we're looking at, while we frustrated with the other entities, we frustrated with Teofimo Lopez, we're going to be frustrated with Bob Arum. We frustrated with Randy Garcia. Ryan Garcia, we're going to be frustrated with Golden Boy promotions and Oscar De La Hoya. What are you doing? Or Gervonta Tank Davis, we blame Ella B and we blame Floyd Mayweather. We're looking at Devin Haney, we're looking at Devin Haney. Regardless if he's 22 years old, he is his own boss, and he also brags about it being his own boss. I don't want to hear that you can't make the fight with Vasyl Lomachenko. We want you to deliver because you were a boss. I don't want to look at Eddie Hearn always and say, why you're not making the fight, Eddie? No, it's different. There got to be responsibility and accountability. But it is a great step-up fight with Jorge Linares. If I do not look at him the way they're promoting him for me to look at him. But my mind says, I know what I see. I know what I could identify. And the truth is that Devin Haney is 22 years old. The truth is that Devin Haney is still growing. The truth is that Devin Haney still haven't even matched his adult strength. Just like a lot of these young guys. That's why you don't hear me critiquing them. They're critiquing the skill set, they're critiquing their strength and things of that nature because they're still young. They're still young. They got a whole career ahead of them. So Jorge Linares is the fight that they know he's ready for. Because if they thought that he was ready for Lomachenko, they would have gave Lomachenko to him. So, is Devin Haney a prospect contender with a strap? That's the question. Because that's the way they're moving him. And I have no problems that they're moving him that way. No problem that they're moving him that way. Matter of fact, they're moving him the right way. The only thing is that he got a responsibility as a champion. And people are looking for him to fight those great, tough fights. But in reality, they're moving him just like the way they're supposed to be moving him. safely, gradually, step by step. Now he's entering, fighting guys in the top 10. First time in his career. That's the way it is. So I know the belts is fogging everything up. Because he has the belts, that's where the critique lands. That's where the frustration lands. You take that strap away from Devin Haney and people will say that he is being billed in the proper way. Matched in a proper way. This is why Jorge Linares is a perfect fight. And Lomachenko is an opponent in which they know. I'm not going to say Devin Haney because Devin Haney is a fighter. He's a fighter. But maybe people around him know that he might not be ready for it. But in promotion, you got to yell out every name. So those names could keep your name in your mouth. It's easy to call out everybody and be the guy that, hey, I called out everybody, they're ducking me. The paperwork, any paperwork, as a boss, should be sent by DHP. Should be sent by DHP to those other opponents because they're bosses. Devin Haney is a boss. DHP is a boss. Now, let me know what y'all think, y'all. This is Punch Run Boxing. Let me know if I'm right or wrong. Let me know. I'm not even saying I'm right or wrong. I'm just going by what it sounds to me. And I don't want these narrative pushers. Let these narrative pushers know not to insult your intelligence. The ones that feeds the narrative pushers and the one that's contributing with the narrative pushers and capitalizing off their narratives. False narratives. Let's be smart, ladies and gentlemen. We love this sport, but you will not insult our intelligence. Now while Punch Drunk got his channel, why not Punch Drunk is speaking? I speak true. We speak unbiasedly, logically, and objectively. Get the fight with Lomachenko. If you're not trying to get the fight with Lomachenko, I know that you're not ready for the fight, DHP. And you pick Linares because it's a perfect opponent for where Devin Haney is at his career. Mentally and skillfully. Ladies and gentlemen, subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell. Come on, updated videos. I love y'all. God bless. And on to the next.